Hi there, Mouseketeers, and welcome to the Disneyland Beat, where our toes tap to a Disneyland drum.
And we always whistle while we work.
Well, today we're going to be looking inside Disneyland at the things that can drive you crazy, even make you a little bit mad.
It's a Disneyland Beat Top 10.
Like, subscribe, and stick around.
Disneyland is your land.
Come seek an adventure into your pirates, eh?
Make the jump to life.
Hi there, Mouseketeers. This is Amy.
And TC with the Disneyland Beat.
So you wait and stand by for 30 minutes, but the line is moving and you're almost there. Then, boom! The ride breaks down. Maybe they don't know how long it'll be broken down, so you have to decide, should you wait it out or move on to something else?
When an attraction breaks, usually it's back up in minutes or hours, but sometimes things go wrong and it could be taken out for the entire day or longer. Maybe that ride you really wanted to spend some time on this trip ends up closing unexpectedly for the whole trip, and you aren't going to get that experience that you had planned for.
The California weather is usually pretty predictable, but all it takes to cancel fireworks is a little bit of wind, not even that much. Sometimes they'll even cancel the fireworks at the last minute after you've parked out for a few hours to see them, which is super frustrating. Just remind yourself, this is for everyone's safety.
Disneyland attractions are regularly closed for refurbishment. It can be just something like a fresh coat of paint or fixing electronics or scenery or whatever might need to be done. Some rides get annual refurbishments during the off-season, and others go longer, getting major work done every few years.
And if you don't know to check, you might book a vacation when your favorite ride is closed and not even realize it until you get there. You might have gotten what looked like some great hotel deals during the off-season, only to show up and find construction walls from the hotel to the castle.
During the Operation Stardust projects in the last few years, we got pretty used to seeing construction walls up and down Main Street on every side of the hub. It definitely can be frustrating when you travel all the way to Disneyland and your vacation seems to be like it's in a construction zone.
Of course, Disney dresses it up as best they can with creative covers and walls, and of course, subscribing to the Disneyland Beat can help you figure out when these things are happening and clue you into the latest attraction news. We all know Disney vacations are expensive, and of course you calculate for your lodging and the high prices of tickets before you come. And the cost of a nice table meal never comes as too great of a surprise if you don't cut too deeply into the wine list. But it's the little things, I think, that end up pushing people's buttons.
Food in general can be really marked up. An ice cream bar or a churro is usually only worth a few dollars in your normal world, but when it's shaped like Mickey Mouse or given a fancy name at Disneyland, it can cost $8 to $10, $12, you name it. With a fairly large family or group, that can add up quick.
And even small souvenirs can be quite pricey, and there are often unexpected fees for parking or add-ons and more. I think seasoned regulars know what to expect, and our channel can help with tips on how to do Disneyland on a budget. But if you don't plan everything, it always costs more than you think it will, and that can leave you pretty exasperated.
Now these really get to Disneyland regulars. The first one is line cutting. We don't think this is going to be a problem for some time with the way lines are going to work when the parks reopen, but before the pandemic, occasionally you would see people cutting from the standby line into the Fast Pass line.
We highly recommend not doing this. It could get you removed from the park for a day. The other one that gets us is the person who holds a spot in line for another. It's one thing if we're talking about your significant other joining you, but when your extended family, your neighbors, and your former college roommate show up, that's a bit much.
And somehow more insidious, but even more inevitable, is the person who shows up to the parade or the fireworks at the last moment and squeezes their entire family or group into the 6 inches of space right in front of you, without considering the fact that you probably waited for hours to get that spot. Now this can go both ways. Lots of times people are claiming space knowing they really can't fit in, and they're just blocking views and they're standing where they shouldn't.
And on the other hand, people can get overly irate thinking they have a claim to more space than they actually do. Usually, it's better to try and keep your cool. When Disneyland makes a major change to the park, there's almost always resistance to the idea, and some folks can get downright upset about it. Everybody has a favorite attraction or a special memory about a certain something in the park, and it can be hard to see them change, and we certainly can understand that. Our favorite ride to remember? is the mine train through nature's wonderland.
And because almost every version of every Disneyland attraction is a lot of fun on some level, it's fair to say that every change has its hardcore fans and its detractors. It's not that hard to find people who look back on the Disney Afternoon Avenue as one of the best themed events the park has ever had, or preferred the Sunshine Plaza to Buena Vista Street.
Rise of the Resistance will probably continue to be the most popular ride at Disneyland, though it's certainly got some competition with Snow White's new changes and Web Slingers coming soon. Nonetheless, it will continue to be a must-ride for park visitors, and the virtual boarding passes go in minutes, and you have to be on your app at the right moment to even have a chance.
Now, getting on Rise of the Resistance may be the reason you made your trip in the first place. But if Disneyland copies Walt Disney World, there will be 2 times during the day that you can get on the app, in the morning and the afternoon, and enter the world's fastest lottery to try and get on the ride. Now, up until this point at Disneyland, boarding passes have only been available in the morning, with huge crowds getting up early to stand in Main Street, USA, and compete on the Disneyland app together.
It's not really that bad, and most people get to experience the attraction. We had nothing but good luck with it and got boarding passes inside the park and while riding in on the monorail, but it is a little stressful. The dynamic has changed with the new park safety regulations, and you could have some bad luck and miss out on the ride entirely, and that could leave you mad.
And this one can really get to everybody, and it's related to a lot of the other categories, but we often see people getting upset because they're perceiving that somehow they're missing out on the best of Disneyland on their trip.
It's actually pretty easy to do. For instance, on your first trip, you may have missed getting a spot at World of Color, so you fix that the next time around. But on your third trip, you notice all those folks over at the dessert party sitting so comfortably, and you think you might be missing out on that.
Or it can be as simple as having to choose between a few of your favorite attractions and not having enough time to do them all. It's easy to get upset because you think you're missing out.
We here at the Disneyland Beat encourage being flexible and following the Disney magic wherever it might take you. There really is no bad time or activity inside the park at any given point, just different magical experiences.
A course of day at Disneyland is going to involve a lot of waiting. I mean, it's just inherent in the entire process, from security to your tickets to attractions and food and shopping. I mean, heck, sometimes you have to wait just to be able to walk down the street.
Regular visitors get used to this fairly quickly and become pretty good at both knowing how to avoid the longest lines and how to stay cheerful and enjoy yourself when you do have to wait it out.
Again, it's when that expectation meets reality that people start to get irate. A newbie at the park can be surprised at the waits, or a Disneyland regular can be surprised at an unexpected wait that is longer than you thought you might possibly have to stand in line for. There are certainly quite a few folks who contend that Disneyland might not be the best place for babies and small toddlers, though it's never bothered me. Our son didn't start visiting the park regularly until he was 4, but we get that having the youngest ones there, it's really for the parents. I mean, our son doesn't remember those early trips that well, but we sure do. They were a lot of fun.
But with young ones does come something that a lot of folks wish the park had less of: strollers. Now, we're not talking about strollers for those who really need them. Some children have special needs, and larger families with multiple kids need them too, and we totally support that. But a lot of families bring strollers as a matter of convenience.
When you see the sea of strollers taking up so much real estate in the park, it's easy to see why Disney recently set limits on the size and types of strollers that you can bring in. But we can take heart. With the lower capacity when the parks reopen, there will actually be room for all of these strollers for a while.
Luckily, most folks are having an awesome day at Disneyland, but at the same time, things just aren't working out for some folks, and it can be really frustrating when that happens. One of the things we've seen that gets us going is when people take their vacation frustrations out on cast members. At Walt Disney World, the need to enforce mask regulations that have come along with the pandemic have brought focus to that fact that some people behave absolutely shockingly when dealing with Disney park employees. It's just not cool.
Cast members do everything in their power to make our Disney experiences as positive and enjoyable as they can be. So be kind to the cast members. They conjure park magic in their wake. If you do have a problem, just head to City Hall on Main Street, where the cast members are trained and empowered to deal with any park issues you might have.
And we can help you too. You can avoid a lot of these problems by good planning for your trip. So we encourage you to join us here at the Disneyland Beat and join our community to get to know the ins and outs of the parks better.
This is a reminder that on Monday the 19th, we're going to be having another live stream of the Disneyland Beat Friends broadcast with Don and Damien and myself, so be sure to check in on that. We're going to have a whole lot of fun. We got lots to talk about. And good luck, everybody, getting your Disneyland tickets, and stay cool, keep your cool, and thanks so much for watching. We'll see you real soon, Mouseketeers.
See you real soon.